The unseen threat. In the vastness of space, humanity had always known that they were not alone. But they had no idea just how vast the universe's dangers could be. The Galactic Empire, a ruthless conglomerate of alien species, had dominated entire star systems for millennia. They had conquered, enslaved, and eradicated countless civilizations. And now, their gaze had turned towards Earth. It all began with a simple distress call. Captain Elara Vance, commanding officer of the United Earth ship, UES, Resolute, received a transmission from an unknown species. The message was garbled, desperate, and filled with fear. It was a plea for help, a cry from the dark corners of the galaxy that humanity had barely begun to explore. Without hesitation, Elara ordered her crew to alter course and respond to the call. When the Resolute arrived at the coordinates, they found a small, battered vessel on the brink of destruction. The ship's occupants, a species known as the Tellarians, were a peaceful people with advanced technology, but no military to speak of. They were scientists, explorers, and scholars, much like humanity had been before the rise of the United Earth Federation. The Tellarians had been fleeing from a Galactic Empire warship, their only crime being their refusal to surrender their homeworld. Captain Vance and her crew worked quickly to repair the Tellarian ship, offering aid and protection. They knew that by doing so, they risked drawing the ire of the Galactic Empire. But humanity had always been a species that valued life and justice above all else. They could not stand by and watch as innocent lives were extinguished. As the Resolute escorted the Tellarians to safety, Captain Vance knew that this act of compassion would not go unnoticed. The Galactic Empire would surely seek retribution, and humanity would be thrust into a conflict unlike any they had faced before. But she also knew that humanity had an indomitable spirit, one that had seen them through countless trials. Back on Earth, news of the encounter spread rapidly. The United Earth Federation convened an emergency session, and the decision was made to prepare for war. Humanity would not bow to tyranny. They would stand and fight. They would show the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated. The Empire's wrath. As humanity braced for the inevitable retaliation, the Galactic Empire's response was swift and brutal. Fleet Admiral Falros, a decorated and feared leader within the Empire, was given command of the assault. His orders were clear: eradicate the humans. Leave no survivors. The message was simple: no species defies the Empire and lives to tell the tale. Falros's fleet, consisting of dozens of warships, set course for the Sol system. They were confident in their superiority, knowing that the Empire's military might was unmatched across the stars. The humans, with their limited technology and small fleet, would be nothing more than a minor obstacle, a footnote in the annals of the Empire's conquests. But what the Empire did not anticipate was the resourcefulness of their new enemy. Humanity had always been quick to adapt, to innovate in the face of adversity. The United Earth Federation's military scientists worked tirelessly, reverse engineering the Tellarian technology that Captain Vance had brought back. They integrated it with their own, creating new weapons and defenses that could stand up to the Empire's arsenal. As the Galactic Empire's fleet entered the Sol system, they were met not with a frightened and disorganized resistance, but with a well-coordinated and heavily armed defense force. Earth had mobilized every available ship, from massive battleships to agile fighters, all ready to protect their homeworld. The initial clash was fierce, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Empire's ships, though powerful, were designed for subjugation, not for prolonged warfare against a determined and technologically advanced foe. The humans, driven by the need to protect their species and their home, fought with a tenacity that the Empire had never encountered before. Fleet Admiral Falros, watching the battle unfold from the bridge of his flagship, began to realize that this was not going to be the easy victory he had expected. The humans were more formidable than any species the Empire had faced in centuries. Their tactics were unconventional, their strategies unpredictable, and they were relentless. As the battle raged on, It became clear that the Empire had underestimated humanity's resolve. The humans were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for their freedom, for their right to exist in a galaxy that had been dominated by the Empire's tyranny for far too long. A turning point. As the days turned into weeks, the battle for the Sol system became a grueling war of attrition. The Galactic Empire, once so confident in their victory, found themselves bogged down in a conflict that was draining their resources and testing their resolve. The humans, meanwhile, continued to innovate, using every trick and tactic they could devise to hold the line. One of the key turning points in the war came with the development of a new type of stealth technology. Using the Tellurian advancements as a foundation, human engineers created a cloaking device that could render their ships virtually invisible to the Empire's sensors. The first test of this technology was conducted on the UES Spectre, a state-of-the-art destroyer. The Spectre was sent on a mission deep into enemy territory, its objective to gather intelligence and, if possible, strike at the heart of the Empire's supply lines. The mission was a success beyond anyone's expectations. The Spectre managed to infiltrate the Empire's defenses, destroy a key supply depot, and return to Earth without ever being detected. This victory was a significant blow to the Empire's war effort. Fleet Admiral Thalros, now fully aware of the threat that humanity posed, ordered his forces to redouble their efforts. But the damage had been done. The Empire's supply lines were in disarray, and their forces were spread thin across the galaxy. Back on Earth, the success of the Spectre's mission was celebrated as a turning point in the war. Humanity had proven that they were not just capable of defending their home, but of taking the fight to the enemy. The United Earth Federation began to plan a series of counter-offensives aimed at pushing the Empire out of the Sol system and eventually liberating the Tellurian homeworld. The war was far from over, but for the first time since the conflict had begun, humanity had hope. They had shown the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated, that they were a force to be reckoned with, and they would continue to fight, no matter the cost. The Empire's desperation. As the war dragged on, the Galactic Empire found itself in an increasingly desperate situation. Their fleet, once the pride of the galaxy, was now being systematically dismantled by the humans. The Empire's resources were dwindling, and their grip on their territories was slipping. Fleet Admiral Thalros, facing the possibility of defeat for the first time in his long career, began to take increasingly drastic measures. He ordered the construction of a massive superweapon, a device capable of destroying entire planets. This weapon, known as the Starbreaker, was intended to be the ultimate deterrent, a show of force that would break the humans' will to fight. But the construction of the Starbreaker was not without its challenges. The project required vast amounts of resources, and the Empire's supply lines were already stretched thin. The humans, now aware of the Empire's desperation, launched a series of attacks on key supply depots, further crippling the Empire's ability to complete the weapon. Despite these setbacks, Thalros pressed on. He knew that if the Starbreaker could be completed, it would turn the tide of the war. The humans, no matter how resourceful or determined, could not hope to stand against such overwhelming power. But the United Earth Federation was not about to let the Empire complete its superweapon unchallenged. Intelligence reports had revealed the location of the Starbreaker's construction site, deep within the Empire's territory. A daring plan was devised to launch a strike on the site, destroying the weapon before it could be completed. Captain Ilara Vance, who had been instrumental in the early stages of the war, was chosen to lead the mission. The UES Resolute, along with a fleet of cloaked ships, would infiltrate the Empire's defenses and deliver a crippling blow to the Starbreaker. The mission was fraught with danger. The Empire's defenses were formidable, and the construction site was heavily guarded. But the stakes were too high for failure. The fate of humanity, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The final battle. The mission to destroy the Starbreaker was a success, but it came at a great cost. The UES Resolute was heavily damaged, and many of the ships that had accompanied it were lost. But the Starbreaker was no more, and with its destruction, the tide of the war had turned decisively in humanity's favor. Fleet Admiral Thalros, enraged by the loss of his superweapon, ordered a full-scale assault on Earth. He knew that this was his last chance to crush the humans before they could regroup and launch a counteroffensive. The fate of the Empire rested on this final battle. The United Earth Federation, aware of the imminent attack, mobilized every available ship and soldier. They knew that this would be the defining moment of the war, the battle that would determine the future of humanity. As the Empire's fleet approached Earth, they were met with a wall of firepower. The humans had fortified their defenses, deploying new weapons and tactics that they had developed over the course of the war. The battle that followed was one of the most intense and brutal in galactic history. Ships clashed in the cold vacuum of space, their weapons lighting up the darkness with explosions and energy beams. The Empire's forces, though powerful, were no match for the determination and ingenuity of the humans. Fleet Admiral Thalros, watching the battle unfold from the bridge of his flagship, began to realize that his empire was crumbling before his eyes. Despite the overwhelming odds, the humans fought with everything they had. They knew that this was their moment, their chance to secure their place in the galaxy, and they were not going to let it slip away. The Empire's fall. The final battle for Earth raged on for hours, with neither side willing to give an inch. But as the dust began to settle, it became clear that the Galactic Empire had been defeated. Fleet Admiral Thalros, realizing that all was lost, ordered a retreat. His once mighty fleet, now shattered and broken, limped away from the Sol system, leaving the humans victorious. The news of the Empire's defeat spread quickly across the galaxy. Species that had lived in fear of the Empire for centuries began to rise up, inspired by humanity's example. The Galactic Empire, once the most powerful force in the galaxy, was now in decline. On Earth, the victory was celebrated as a turning point in human history. For the first time, humanity had faced an existential threat and emerged victorious. The United Earth Federation, once a fledgling alliance of nations, had proven itself as a force to be reckoned with. But the cost of victory had been high. Millions of lives had been lost, and much of Earth's infrastructure had been destroyed. The galaxy was now a much more dangerous place, with the power vacuum left by the Empire's fall leading to new conflicts and challenges. Despite this, humanity remained optimistic about the future. They had shown the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated, that they were capable of great things. And they were determined to continue exploring the stars, to push the boundaries of what was possible. A new dawn. In the aftermath of the war, humanity found itself at a crossroads. The Galactic Empire was in ruins, and the galaxy was in turmoil. But with this chaos came opportunity. The United Earth Federation, now a respected power in the galaxy, began to forge new alliances with other species. Captain Ilara Vance, hailed as a hero for her role in the war, was promoted to admiral and tasked with leading the Federation's efforts to bring peace to the galaxy. She knew that the road ahead would be difficult, that there would be new challenges and new enemies. But she also knew that humanity had proven itself time and time again. As the Federation began to rebuild, they focused on exploration and scientific advancement. They sent out expeditions to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, seeking out new life and new civilizations. They were determined to learn from the mistakes of the past, to build a better future for all species. The galaxy, once dominated by the tyranny of the Galactic Empire, was now a place of hope and possibility. And humanity, with its indomitable spirit and unyielding determination, was leading the way. The war had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. They were a species capable of great courage, of great sacrifice, and of great achievement. And as they looked to the stars, they knew that their journey was just beginning.